Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are, whenever you watch this. I am in the middle of my turbo teardown and overhaul, and I guess you can kind of see that. This is the turbine wheel, and it actually doesn't look bad. I did have a lot of carbon caking and buildup inside the heat shield here, but when I move that, obviously it's still filthy, I gotta clean it up, but the shaft itself, at least on the surface, doesn't look that bad. There may be some scarring underneath all that gunk. I'll get to that though. This is just the plate that holds the center housing to the turbine housing, and there's my compressor wheel, which I have very limited experience in this stuff, but those blades on the surface, they don't really appear to be that bad. I'll say that tearing this unit apart was infinitely harder than I expected it to be. Every resource that I went to told me it was going to be difficult, and I guess I just took that and thought, well, it won't be that bad, but it really was that bad. It took a lot of finesse and tenacity. Like, I had to stick with it. I had to not do anything too hard because I didn't want to break any of the bolts. You see here, this is the compressor, sort of the compressor section of the housing. It's filthy. I'm keeping my hardware for each section, bolts and brackets and whatnot, separated into these baggies. And this is the turbine section here. And then this piece here is where it mounted to the exhaust manifold. And that was really hard to get off of there. I don't know if that varies car to car. That was one of the toughest sections for me. I've got the center section down here in this pan. I've got it soaking with PB Blaster, which is an absolute necessity if you're going to do anything like this. The PB Blaster, multiple uses, letting it soak in, because I've got these 10 millimeter nuts here that I have to take off so that I can separate that section of the housing. And then here, this is where the heat shield sits, so you see how bad that is. I've already cleaned it off, if you can believe that. I've already done a couple of wipes with a towel to get it that clean. But as I was saying, PB Blaster is a necessity, as well as a little handheld propane torch. Getting the turbine housing separated from the center housing, I tried for about 2 hours. That's no lie. I tried for about 2 hours, and I had to go out and buy that little propane handheld torch, and it still took me another 15-20 minutes to get it heated up enough so I could bust it loose with a hammer. So if you're going to try this, just make sure you're allowing yourself enough time. Do not rush it. Make sure you've got plenty of time to work on this. And I guess I'll show you one other thing that may really piss off the Mercedes purists. This is a Mercedes video, by the way. This is my 83 300D here. Here's something that might tick you guys off. I painted my manifolds, and I did that, really the exhaust manifold especially was so nasty. I mean, it was just rusty and ugly, and so I sort of went through and with brushes and paper and everything, and I got as much off as I could, cleaned it up, and went ahead and put 2 coats of primer on it and 2 coats of paint. And some of you guys are out there screaming at me right now because you just don't like things like that, but I did it, and if you don't like it, you can tell it to our complaint department. So I got that. The intake manifold is outside right now drying. I've also painted the battery tray because it was showing some rust. So I'm kind of doing the same treatment on that. I think I'll go black with the battery tray. The reason I went with this blue, number one, I think it kind of looks cool. That's just personal preference. But I didn't want to paint it like a dark color because what I've realized is like some of the stuff in there, if it's dark colored and you start getting like an oil leak somewhere, or something's flying around and it's making the engine mucky and you don't know where it's coming from, if you've got a lighter color, you can spot those oil spots easier, and I just thought it would make it easier for me. So that's that, and I think that's about it for the update right now. Just wanted to keep you guys abreast of the situation. I still got plenty of work to do. It is now Thursday on my week off. It's Thursday morning at about 9. So too early for bourbon, but I believe I can still get all this put back together and be ready for work on Monday. So thanks for checking in, and I appreciate the fact that this is not going to be a YouTube channel where I'm ever obviously I'm not ever going to try to get a bunch of followers and make money or anything like that, but I do appreciate the interaction. I appreciate the fact that you guys take time out to leave comments, because it does help me, things I haven't thought about, or just a different perspective. So feel free to keep doing that. I will check in periodically. Even if I don't respond, I'm checking these comments. So I guess until next time, that's it.